Welcome back to Insecurity. We are still in beautiful, kind of chilly San Francisco for RSA 2020. Now we're going to dig deep. We're going to, under the covers, behind the curtains, inside the refrigerator. We have Pooja Kohli, who is the Senior Director for BlackBerry Enterprise. And your team, we birthed a baby. We've made an announcement this week.
That's right.
Let's talk about Persona. I think we've been beating that drum for a little while, but a lot of people may not know what's going on. So let's go right to the source, the leader of the teams that are putting these things out there.
Yeah, we're very excited.
First off, what is it?
Persona. So persona is basically your user identity. So one of the problems that we want to solve is I'm carrying my phone all the time. So this is part of my identity. But there's a lot of times people are taking advantage of that. Like when you're using a device, could be a phone, could be a desktop, and they just take over. They're the two specific things that happen which we want to provide some assurance for is that somebody else has hacked your password. And or they have gotten access to your device and they start using it. So that's the external threat that's coming in, but somebody is trying to be you. Versus, or somebody is being an insider, rogue person, and trying to do things which they're not supposed to with malicious intent. So how do you catch those two aspects? The way we've done that in the past is through SSO and through passwords. But that's okay, but that's just the problem is it happens at one time, and once you are authenticated in, there is no other control.
Right.
So that's the main problem we are trying to solve is how do you bring continuous authentication to all the devices, applications that you use. But the important part being is it's not intrusive. It's not intrusive as in you're always doing a second factor, you're putting more friction in, almost to the point of it being not usable by the users. And then they will circumvent the whole thing.
So this is why we get people like you on here, because you've literally taken the next two questions I was going to ask as part of that answer. But it's annoying. The 2FA, yes, we love it, but it's just, where did my phone, what did I do with that?
What did I do with it? Yes, and it's intrusive, it takes control of what you're doing. It's sometimes not even secure. It may ask you for a 2FA on a compromised device because 2FAs today are very statically defined. So in fact, that's one of the things, again, problem we're solving, that you will only get 2FAs on trusted devices. Now, how do you establish trust? So how we establish trust is that we are looking at you as your activities, what you're doing. So for example, if I'm using my mobile phone, how do I actually hold my phone? What is my gait on it? What's my typing speed? What applications I use? How do I use those applications?
So this is really interesting. This is almost a personality profile of the physical things you are doing while you're on this device.
Yes.
Is there a way to keep that from being too big brothery, or is that really what we need at this point with the amount of data that is on there and just how unique it is and intrinsic to what I do?
So actually, many of our customers are big banks and which have in Europe, so they have a great focus on privacy, and we are very compliant with GDPR. So we do that through many different means, where we don't store the data infinitely. We just score the user, and then you can know that what they're doing in real time is anomalous or not. We do pseudo-anonymization of data because what we do need to know is whether you are being you, and we don't keep your identity with us. I won't have your email address and your name stored, but I have a pseudo-anonymous identifier.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That we can correlate back to you through software, but I personally cannot look at the data and know it's you. So those are some of the controls that we are putting in to make sure that we are compliant, and a lot of the security is done on the device. However much we can, we do the processing on the device itself. We don't even bring it up to our cloud. So we are very cognizant of it not being big brotherly and just providing real-time scoring. That's the main function for it, that you can tie back to controls.
So this week of RSA is the 1-year anniversary of the culmination of BlackBerry's acquisition of Cylance. How does Persona play with some of the other toys? I ask because at CES it was great to see the integration of the security products with QNX and some of the different things going on. Where does Persona fit in the larger umbrella scheme?
So Persona is part of our Zero Trust. In fact, it's a big underpinning of the Zero Trust architecture that is being put together by the Spark platform that we announced. So a lot of the things that we have do rely on us always authenticating the user and their intent, which we can do across devices. So this is a great example of how the companies have come together. So we have independently, Cylance was developing this on the desktop, and BlackBerry, having the strength on the mobile side, has developed this on the mobile using each other's domain expertise. We are able to bring that to market actually much faster. And also, if you go see our booth, we are running a demo on cars. So this persona is not just for mobile and desktop, it's also running on like automotives. And it's a proof point where this is really an edge technology where you can identify the user. So over there we can, like on the automotive, which is QNX, another BlackBerry division that we have, we can actually see the characteristics of a driver, like how they actually drive, the speed, the pressure, how they accelerate, how they apply brakes, and that can be used to identify the driver itself.
Interesting.
And that has its own use cases in the enterprise world, in fleet management, in user experience, like making a mobile key, like as correlating devices, personalization. So a whole set of new use cases can come across because we can automatically identify the driver.
And it's still just an endpoint that happens to maybe go 125 miles an hour sometimes.
Correct. It could think of it next going in airplanes and medical devices, so you can actually know what they're supposed to do, what their identity looks like.
And then into people at some point.
Yes.
It's all
about the people.
So folks looking for more information about what you're up to, are you doing anything out on the social, any LinkedIn, Twitter-y type stuff? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like you should check out our webpage. We have cool demos. Our booths also, we have everything. LinkedIn is a great place to go and check out all the information. But definitely, I encourage everybody to look through, start with the BlackBerry demo pages that we have, and see if you want to set up a trial.
Spoken like a true security professional. Go there. Don't follow any of my stuff. But looking for good stuff on this, make sure you check out blackberry.com. Also, all of our good things are happening at threatvector.cylance.com. On Twitter, it is @Cylance Inc., @BlackBerry. I am Matt Stevenson. You can find me at PacMatt73. I think they know what my identity is, but I can now make sure that my phone has it and protects it as well. We'll see you soon.